Hello again and welcome to another Mordian Glory Warhammer 40k video. In today's episode, we shall be doing another quick tip tactica. And this time, I'm just going to say I think I broke the game. Okay, I didn't break the game. I think Ursula Creed has broken the game. Because this tactic, it feels about as close to legally cheating as you can get. Like, it works, technically speaking, but it feels like it shouldn't. Kind of feels like an exploit. You know, World Eaters putting Exalted 8-bound in a Rhino. You know, they thought they were all that with the exploits. Well, apparently, here at the Guard, we can do that too. Because apparently here at the Guard, we can just generate free CP without using the Lord Solar for nothing. We can just get CP for nothing. I mean, how is that possible? Well, Creed, of course. Oh, and apparently also we can just stack AP -3 onto one enemy unit. Just cause Creed. If that sounds crazy yet intriguing, and hold on to your butts, because that's what we're going to be covering in today's video. In fact, you know what? Let's stop blue-balling each other. Let's lift up the rock and dive right into today's episode. Now I know what you're thinking. There goes that crazy glue-sniffing bastard, Mordian Glory, with one of his zany ideas again. And you know what? You're probably right. This does seem a bit like it shouldn't work. And so, going into this video, I highly encourage you all to listen, to observe, and to thoroughly tear apart my arguments. Like, please lambast me if I've got this wrong. I am open to it. I am ready to it. I accept the lambastation. Okay? But, I mean, I've checked the files. I've done some digging. I did some internet research. No, not that kind. And I think this actually works. Because a lot of this stuff was actually pointed out to me by the degenerates in the comment section of my last video. They put me onto it, and then I looked into it, and I was like, oh my god, this actually seems to work. So, what I'm saying is, I think this works, but if you've got evidence to the contrary, please share. Because it means that I can learn something, and it also means that people who might also think this and are making it as a mistake, you know, we can learn not to do that as well, okay? But if it does work, then we all learn of a new cool tactic that we can potentially use on the battlefield. All right, so with my arse thoroughly covered, and with the fact that we're 3 minutes in this video and I've not actually talked about anything important yet, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. Let's take a look at Creed. Now, what this comes down to is the tactical genius ability on Creed's datasheet. Once per battle round, one unit from your army within 12 inches of this model can be targeted with a stratagem for 0 CP, even if another unit from your army has already been targeted with that stratagem this phase. That's how it reads on the datasheet. Just a little side note, I believe there is an FAQ which states that you can only use the tactical genius ability on a regiment unit. That is important to note. But what this allows you to do is get a free stratagem, but because it doesn't name what stratagem it is, it has to be a battle tactic stratagem. Well, fortunately for the Guard, one of our best stratagems is the battle tactic stratagem, and that is Fields of Fire. So Creed can use Tactical Genius, that you can use Fields of Fire for free, even if it's already been used on another unit. And Fields of Fire, use it in your shooting phase. Use it on one regiment or squadron unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot this phase. And after your unit has resolved its attacks, select one enemy unit that was targeted by one or more of those attacks until the end of the phase. Each time an attack is made against the enemy unit by a regiment or squadron model from your army, unless the attacking unit is battle shocked, improve the armor penetration characteristic of that attack by 1. Now, why is this so important? Because what I've said here is a pretty common knowledge. Everyone knows that Creed equals 3 Fields of Fire. Great. No harm, no foul. The thing is, it doesn't say you can't stack it. It doesn't say that Fields of Fire can't be stacked. Now, I know that you can't put 2 stratagems onto 1 unit. So I couldn't, for example, take 1 unit and play Fields of Fire on that unit and then use Creed's ability to do Fields of Fire again on the same unit, making my guard unit do +2 AP against 1 enemy unit after it's fired. I know it doesn't work. Likewise, you can't put 2 of the same stratagem on an enemy unit. But I'm not putting this on enemy units. Fields of Fire, it's not something that I put on the enemy unit after it's been shot. I'm putting it on my own guys, right? So it feels like it stacks. Because it doesn't say that Fields of Fire cannot be used to modify the AP characteristic by more than 1. It doesn't say an enemy unit can't be affected by the stratagem because you're not using it on an enemy unit. No, it's just you use Fields of Fire on one of your units. Spend 2 CP on it. You don't use Creed's ability, you spend 2 CP on it. After that unit is fired, the enemy unit which was hit by the attacks, now everyone else that shoots it, it's an extra AP. Then Creed, or a regiment unit near Creed, shoots at the same enemy unit. And then you use Creed's ability. You use Tactical Genius for Fields of Fire. So you've got 2 stratagems, same stratagem, on 2 different ones of your units, and you're targeting the same enemy unit. So that same enemy unit now gets -2 AP. Everything else that shoots it gets extra bonus armor penetration. That's wild. Now, some of you might say, no, surely it doesn't stack. Surely it doesn't stack. Well, here's the thing. Let me refer to you to the Lehman Russ Exterminator with its Withering Hail ability. In your shooting phase, after this model has shot, select 1 enemy unit hit by 1 or more of those attacks made with Exterminator autocannon. Until the end of the phase, each time a friendly Astra Militarum unit makes an attack that targets the enemy unit, improve the armor penetration characteristic of that attack by 1. This all sounds very familiar. Few little differences. It doesn't have to be regiment or squadron. It's all Astra Militarum units. But very familiar wording to Fields of Fire, right? But the thing is, at the end of Withering Hail, it has this extra sentence. The same enemy unit can only be affected by this ability once per phase. It has the caveat right there. It has it. But it doesn't have the same caveat on Fields of Fire. So, as far as I can tell, you can stack Withering Hail. You can shoot a Lehman Russ Exterminator at an enemy unit. Before it shoots, you spend 2 CP on Fields of Fire. After that Lehman Russ Exterminator, because it's a squadron vehicle, after that Lehman Russ Exterminator is finished firing, the enemy unit would have, everyone else that shoots that enemy unit would have an extra AP from Withering Hail, and another extra AP because of Fields of Fire. You could then have Creed, who was, let's say, attached to an infantry squad with a mortar, and before they fire, you use Fields of Fire for free with Creed, and now, after that unit is fired, every single one of your units that shoots at that enemy unit now has an additional AP -3 to their guns.
Attention guardsmen, this is an announcement by the Departamento Militarum. Element Games is an official sponsor of the Mordian Glory channel. They offer up to 20% off Warhammer 40k and 10% off Bolt Action and other game systems. Use the link down in the description to save money and support the channel. Anyone not using the link will be referred to the local commissariat. Also, don't forget that if you use referral code TIM3921, then you will receive double store credit, saving even more money on your future purchases. That's all for now. Full out!
It all stacks up. You're not breaking the can't put the same stratagem on the same unit twice, more than once rule. You're not breaking that. And you're not breaking any stipulations within the abilities themselves which say they can't be stacked. So from what I understand, between 1 Lehman Russ Exterminator, which you would already be taking, and 1 like Command Blob, which you'd probably already be taking, you would be able to get your basic lasguns at AP -3. you'll be able to get your overcharged plasma guns up to AP -6. Your melter guns will be AP -7. I mean, you're not going to... The realistic situation is you're not going to need that much AP. So actually, this isn't really... you don't really care about this on, like, your big guns, like AP -3, AP -4. Those things are already having a great time. But what about the battle cannon? A lot of people lambast the battle cannon. Oh, it's only AP -1. Can't do anything to enemy units in cover. Oh, that battle cannon is now AP -4. Using 2 units that you were probably already including in your army. All those las guns, I've sort of mentioned it quickly before, they'll be AP -3. AP -3 las guns means that Terminators out in the open would be... Terminators in cover, sorry, would be kicked down to their invulnerable save from las guns. A lot of enemy light infantry wouldn't get a save. All those Tyranid little grippers, you don't get a save from las guns whilst you're in cover. It is a huge, huge force multiplier, and it means that every single gun in your guard army, from the lowliest las pistol, has the potential to be kicking enemy armies down to their invulnerable saves or no saves, just army-wide. You can just do this. It's a huge force multiplier. It's very, very powerful being able to do this. Now, you might be thinking that, well, Mordian, it's like 1 unit you can stack this onto. That is true, but bear in mind, consider the meta that we are in, ladies and gentlemen. We are in an elite meta. We are in a mechanized meta. We are in a tank meta. Being able to, take your crappy weapons and make them a threat to 1 unit a turn is actually totally viable. If you can nuke a couple of enemy units every single turn, you'll probably table most armies that you come up against. Think about it. A lot of armies have less than 10 drops. So, only being able to affect 1 unit, that's not a problem for this thing. Not an issue at all. It helps play into the meta. But where this gets... I mean, this already feels kind of crazy, but where this gets, I don't know, dodgy, shall we say? We'll go. It's dodgy central. Okay, that's where we're going. Is the fact that you can use this, you can use Tactical Genius on Creed to generate free CP. You don't need the Lord Solar. Most people go, well, I want the Lord Solar because I get the extra CP. What if I said Creed could do the same thing, but she's 70 points cheaper? You see, Tactical Genius lets you use a stratagem for 0 CP, but you're still using a stratagem. Okay? Let us now take a look at the Voxcaster Wargear ability. Each time you target the bearer's unit with a stratagem, roll 1d6, adding 1 to the result if there are 1 or more friendly officer models within 6 inches. 5+, you gain 1 CP. Now, it doesn't say you are refunded a CP. It doesn't say reduce the cost of that stratagem by 1 to a minimum of 1. It says you gain 1 CP. So, if you have Ursula Creed sat in a 20-man blob of infantry, or there is a 20-man blob of infantry nearby, which has 2 Voxcasters in it, and you use Tactical Genius to put a free stratagem, it doesn't even need to be Fields of Fire, it can be any stratagem. Well, actually, no, it does need to be Fields of Fire, because that's a battle tactical stratagem. But you use it to get free Fields of Fire, then you still get to roll 2 dice. You've got 2 Voxcasters in the unit, 2 dice, and on a 4+, you gain a CP. Now, you can't, if you roll both as a 4+, you don't gain 2 CP, because you're limited to gaining 1 CP a battle round. But it still means that with 2 dice, and both being a 4+, statistically, you get that free CP every time. So not only are you able to stack AP -3 on an enemy unit, but you are also able to gain ACP spending 0 CP. It's like, it's insane. So there's an infinite amount of CP at the Federal Reserve. Do you know what I mean? It's that kind of meme level. You are literally spending nothing and gaining something. It breaks the laws of physics. Can he deny the laws of physics? Apparently you can deny the laws of physics if you are Ursula Creed. So I think that second part, I wouldn't be surprised if in that second part there's like an FAQ or something that I've missed. This is 10th edition, this is 40k after all. There's an FAQ somewhere. But it seems crazy that you can spend 0 CP and potentially gain a CP. But I bet that's like a quirk of the Voxcaster mechanics, and GW didn't really think about it. But, and it's just mad. It's just mad. So, because of the ability to stack fields of fire on one enemy unit, and because of the fact that you can get a CP for doing that, I think it makes Ursula Creed very, very powerful. The more I look at her datasheet, the more I think she's an auto-include. I think, auto-include's strong. I don't like calling any unit an auto-include, but you get my point. The more I think she's moving up from, like, a lot of people say she's like D tier to like maybe C tier. I think it's difficult to argue. I think Creed is a solid A tier unit now. Absolutely solid. But, of course, all of this is just like my opinion, man. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Firstly, does this even work? And if not, please lambast me. Secondly, if it does work, are there any other crazy combos like this that you are aware of within the Guard or in other factions? Let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that like button and also subscribe to never miss an episode. Would you like to know more? If so, then please consider becoming a channel member or patron. By supporting the channel, not only will you be doing your part, but you'll also be helping me create more content for your viewing pleasure and unlocking a whole host of perks. You get everything from a badge next to your name, custom emojis, but the big one is access to the Mordian Glory Discord server, an online community with almost 2,500 active members. It's always popping off in the MG Discord. We've got channels for army lists, hobbying, tactics, stories, and even a pretty spicy meme section as well. For all you greenhorns that wanted to see the Mordian Glory Hole, today is your lucky day. And joking aside, I do want to say a massive thank you to all of the current channel members and patrons. You guys are amazing. Truly the lifeblood of the channel. I could not do Mordian Glory full-time without the incredible and generous support of my members. So thank you guys so much. And last but certainly not least, I want to say a personal thank you to all of my top tier Patreons. These are the War Masters, and they have truly gone above and beyond the call of duty. So a big shout out to Bon Vert, Mad Larkin, Marcus Roberts, Mark Panconi, RJ Scorpion, Swordfish Trombone, John Stubbs, Nick Walsh, Diesel Fox, and August Varney. Thank you guys so much. Your incredible generosity is a massive part of how I'm able to do Mordian Glory full time, and it is a big driving force behind the channel. But I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Thank you for watching, and of course, as always, I'll see you guys next time.